You're born in a cramped room in Gory, Georgia. The lighting is terrible. The midwife smells like onions. And guess what? You arrive with a face that practically screams, "Ugh, do I really have to be here?" Yes, you do. You're this adorable, wrinkly potato of a child, and you have zero clue about the twisted roller coaster you're about to board. But let's not blame you for your cluelessness. After all, you're just an itty-bitty version of the glorious tyrant you might become someday. You grow up in a house where the walls feel like they're made of regret. Your mother, overworked, devout, and weirdly convinced you could have become a priest, hovered around you like a moth to a dull flame. Your father was absent half the time, lost in his own personal illusions of grandeur, or maybe he was just out buying milk and forgot the way home. Talk about a dysfunctional family. Doesn't every generation love to blame their parents for their nightmares? Well, you're no different. Inside your tiny skull, a voice whispers, "Ugh, not this again. Can someone poke me awake from this?" That's your lovely internal monologue. Get used to it. This cynicism is about to blossom into something monstrous, but let's keep it a secret for now. Your childhood days aren't all gloom, though. Sometimes you break your neighbor's windows with pebbles or scurry through the streets causing mischief. You get a sweet thrill out of tiny chaos. But you also learn that your destiny has some hidden claws. Everyone around you keeps giving you side eyes, as if you're carrying a sign that reads, "Future something terrible, possibly." But hush, no one dares say the word dictator. Not yet. Suddenly, your teenage years burst in like a poorly rehearsed stage play. You're rebellious, bored, and more than a little annoyed. You watch your peers talk about dreams of romance or family. Meanwhile, you roll your eyes and mutter, "Romance? Please, I'd rather start a revolution." You secretly crave to shake the world, but you don't even know how to comb your hair properly. Typical rebellious teen spirit, right? Time marches on, and you find yourself swept into the swirling mess of politics. You're reading subversive pamphlets, whispering grand ideas. It's all so seductive, and you keep thinking, yes, yes, change the world, overthrow the old ways. It's the perfect rebellious hobby. Everybody loves a good revolution, until heads start rolling. You start building alliances with folks who look equally shady, but they have purpose, they have fervor, they have mustaches that demand respect. You begin to suspect that maybe your calling involves more than just scowling at your reflection. And here's the cosmic joke. You're absolutely irrevocably right. Whether that's good or bad, well, we'll see. At some point, you realize you're no mere foot soldier in this revolutionary circus. No, you've got a starring role. Well, it's about time. You hear yourself mumble internally, exhaling a bored sigh. Overthrowing governments is complicated, but oh, so thrilling once you get the hang of it. You can't help but laugh when you see how people cower in front of your ideas. There's power in fear, and you figure, why not use it? Then the big moment. The revolution arrives, fireworks pop in your brain, and suddenly you're part of a new regime. You help shape a brand new world. You think, that was easier than learning to do laundry. Maybe I'm good at this tyranny business. And sure enough, you step into a position that rhymes suspiciously with dictator, though people try to give it fancy titles. You pretend you're just a humble guide leading the masses. Meanwhile, your grin widens every time you scribble your signature on suspicious paperwork. Now here comes the fun part, consolidating power. You find out that if someone disagrees with you, you can just make them disappear. Poof, it's almost like magic. But instead of a rabbit in a hat, it's a critic in a cold, dark cell. The voice in your head says, "Meh, they were annoying anyway." People start calling you Comrade Stalin, but you wink at yourself in the mirror. We both know you prefer Supreme Overlord of Iron Fists, but let's keep it simple. Soon you discover the glorious, unstoppable mania of controlling an entire nation. You realize you can do anything you please. Rewrite history? Sure. Send your enemies to remote corners of a frozen wasteland? Why not? Ban your mother's favorite dish just because it annoys you? Go for it. You relish this newfound ability like a child discovering chocolate for the first time. Except your chocolate is absolute fear and unquestioned obedience. But oh wait, there's a war brewing. Actually, more than one. The world is going bananas, and you're right in the middle of it. You see entire armies crumble. You watch nations gasp under the strain of bombs. And you? You remain in your office, calmly munching on your paranoid thoughts and deciding which strategy to employ. War's a messy business, but ironically, it cements your reputation. Death tolls rise, but your grip on power tightens. Typical cosmic irony, you mutter in your head, stifling a yawn. Sometimes you wonder if you should have chosen a quieter life, maybe open a small bakery or become a traveling circus clown. But it's too late. The wheels are in motion. The snowball is now an avalanche, and you're the happy sledder who started it all. At home, your relationships are about as warm as a freezer. Family dinners? Yikes. Let's just say not everyone's thrilled with your brand of leadership. Talk about a generational gap. Your kids might be thinking, Dad's overshadowing my rebellious phase by ruling a nation with an iron fist. You can't exactly put that on a Hallmark card, can you? Then your nights become restless. Paranoia drips into your mind like a leaky faucet. You dream of conspiracies. You see enemies lurking in your soup. You start purging your inner circle just to be safe. Everyone suspects everyone, and yet you carry on with a smug grin that says, I've got this. Because, well, you do. Until your body starts to betray you. Age creeps in. Aches intensify. You cough one day and think, is that mortality knocking on my door? How rude. As the years roll by, the unstoppable force that was you begins to wobble. You hide it behind official portraits and big speeches, but the Reaper doesn't care about your propaganda. He's just waiting for your final breath. And one day, it comes. You collapse in your private quarters, ironically surrounded by velvet curtains and stale air. An entire nation panics, or celebrates, or both. Meanwhile, in your final moment, you probably think something along the lines of, so, that's it? Lame. In that last second, maybe you recall your troubled birth, your dreams of revolution, your unstoppable appetite for power, and your laughable attempts at normal relationships. It's also absurd. It's so completely messed up, you almost want to giggle. But there's no more time for that. The curtain falls. And there you are. This is what it's like to be born as Stalin and ride the wave of absolute control. One giant cosmic prank, if you ask me. You soared high on fear and violence, only to trip over your own mortality in the end. Dark? Sure. Funny in a disturbingly cynical way? Absolutely. And all of it started with you, a tiny, wrinkly baby in Gory, just trying to figure out if life was worth the effort. Now, if you've made it all the way here without dropping your popcorn in shock, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more twisted tales. After all, if the story of one mustache dictator kept you riveted, who knows what else awaits in the dark corners of history? Go on, you know you're curious.